Hey, this is Chris. Welcome to Guitar Summit 2025. And today we're at the booth here at Yamaha looking at the brand new Line 6 Helix Stadium XL. What's it all about? Helix Stadium is the next generation of our popular Helix processor line. And it is completely new. It has a new engine, it has a new form factor, it has a new modeling methodology, and it has a new way of interacting with it. So we can really deliver a product that sounds great, that is super gratifying to use, and it's fun to use and make sounds and explore sounds. And we can take a little bit of a look at the actual unit itself here. As you can see, it's an extruded aluminum top, and we've kept all the goodness of foot switches. We've got 12 in total, but we added encoders, 2 more encoders. But also now we have a touchscreen, which means you can touch it and it screens. But this allows us to have really intuitive interactions with the actual unit. Now, right now I'm in a preset here, and we can see the signal chain here going from left to right. If you're familiar with Helix, you see that these blocks are looking familiar because we kept with the same kind of concept of color coding. Take a look here at the amp model itself. I have the encoders here that I can use to dial in my tone, but also, of course, I can touch it and it brings up a slider, also a little bit of a context menu, so I can adjust it like this. I can even dial in the number if I'm really particular about things. And that really helps me navigate this. If I wanted to change the model, I have a list of amplifiers here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the new models here are called Agora models. And this is a new way for us to model the amplifier. And it's, I'm not a software engineer. I can't tell you the details, but it's a new way of doing it. But as a player, it means it translates in a more dynamic and more authentic playing experience. You really feel notes that are more dynamic coming off the fretboard. What's also cool about the new Agora models is you have this little symbol here that looks like a camera focus symbol, and that opens not only a pretty picture, which always helps, obviously, seeing what the product looks like, but I also have 5 very specific zones that have sound suggestions. So if I wanted to have a lead tone, I could just drag my finger across and have more of a lead sound. Here is fresh and clean. The amp actually changes the channel now. I have the normal channel of this amplifier, which is also new with Agora models, which means all the channels that an amp has, that's now modeled as well. So you don't have to have 2 separate models as in the previous Helix. And you just play along and you stop wherever it sounds good. You can see the values underneath. They are changing in accordance with my finger movement. When I find a sound that I love, or not quite love, I can go in and make it so that I do love it. A lot of love here. Another cool feature about the amp is the hype control. And that's usually set off. So what does hype do? So I don't have to remember, I open the context menu, and it's depending on the amp or the amp model that I'm using. And using this goes from super realistic, which sometimes can be a bit unforgiving for players, to a version that is more idealized, and that maybe is a little bit easier to play. It's not just increasing gain or anything, it's just there's a bunch of parameters that change, and depending on the amp, it might get punchier, it might get saggier, it might get tighter. But this control allows you to basically go from super realistic to an idealized version of it, or anywhere in between. Our cabs have the same idea. I have a visual representation of the various microphones here. I can choose them either with the encoder or again with opening it up, and then I can use the microphone, or my finger rather, to move the microphone in space. A couple of things that are cool too. I have got this eye symbol here, which is for information. So if you're a tourist on Helix Stadium and you want some tourist information, you can tap this and it'll tell you whoever made this preset, they used a Les Paul and the bridge pickup, and they also give you what playback system they used for that, so that you can compare it. And the snapshots. If you don't know what snapshots are, they're basically variations within the same preset. And for this particular preset, I can open up these snapshots and go from rhythm to clean to crunch, either by switching here with a screen, or in the heat of the battle, I can go to my foot switch version here and set up snapshots, and then I can go from a rhythm to clean and crunch. The signal chain doesn't change, but the effects and the settings within the signal chain are being changed in accordance. If you're ever in the situation where you want to know, so what does it actually sound like? We have included this little clip feature here, which has a DI signal in here. And when I press this, it plays the signal through the signal chain. So I can listen to how the amp should sound like. Probably should be something like this, rhythm. For this particular one, let's do this again. So it sounds like the rhythm guitar through this preset, which is good fun. And that's for all the presets. So if you ever go into this version where you're not quite sure what it sounds like, you can use that. In addition, we have user presets that you can create your own, but also the factory presets here, naturally. And for people who already own a Helix, they'll be pleased to know that you can load your existing Helix presets into it and it'll work, which means all your hard work over years of creating presets is not lost. Thank you so much from Guitar Summit 2025. I'm Chris for Line 6, and keep on rocking.